Chapter 16, The Fantasy and Crisis of the Spiritual Power Flower C. Facing the spiritual power phantom warriors that suddenly emerged, Mu and Lin Feng quickly assumed a battle stance. These phantom warriors were emitting a faint blue light all over their bodies. Their eyes were hollow yet filled with killing intent, and the spiritual power weapons in their hands glistened with a cold sheen. These phantoms seemed formidable. "We need to be careful," Sumo said in a low voice. At the same time, he infused his spiritual power into the sword in his hand, and the sword body emitted a faint white light. Lin Feng nodded, gripping his sword tightly. "Yeah, there are quite a few of them. We need to cooperate with each other." Hardly had the words left his mouth when one of the phantom warriors launched an attack first. Like a ghost, it rushed towards Sumu, thrusting the spiritual power-long spear in its hand straight at Sumu's chest. Sumu sidestepped nimbly, deftly avoiding this fierce strike. At the same time, he swung his sword and hacked at the phantom warrior's arm. However, when the blade struck the phantom warrior, it only stirred up a blue spiritual power ripple and didn't cause any substantial damage. "Ordinary attacks don't work on me," Sumo shouted. Meanwhile, he circulated his spiritual power and condensed a layer of spiritual power shield in front of him to guard against sneak attacks from other phantom warriors. Seeing this, Lin Feng tried to gather his spiritual power at the tip of his sword and then stabbed suddenly at the head of one of the phantom warriors. This time, after being hit, the phantom warrior's body trembled slightly and its light dimmed a bit. Attacking their heads can cause damage to them, Lin Feng loudly reminded Sumu. The two immediately adjusted their tactics and cooperated with each other to attack the heads of the phantom warriors. Sumu was in charge of drawing the attention of the phantom warriors, while Lin Feng seized the opportunity to launch a fatal blow. With their efforts, gradually some phantom warriors were defeated and dissipated into blue spiritual power in the air. However, the remaining phantom warriors seemed to notice their tactics. They began to cooperate more closely and no longer revealed flaws easily. At the same time, more phantom warriors emerged from all directions, shrinking the encirclement around them. Sumu and Lin Feng stood back. Facing the tide of phantom warriors, the pressure on them grew greater and greater. Sweat trickled down their foreheads, soaking their clothes, but their eyes remained firm, showing no sign of retreat. Just when the situation became more and more critical, Sumu suddenly noticed that the movements of these phantom warriors seemed to be controlled by some kind of force, and the source of this force seemed to come from the stone platform. "Lin Feng, these phantoms may be controlled by the stone platform. Let's find a way to break through the encirclement and destroy the stone platform," Sumu shouted. The two understood each other without words and started to break through towards the stone platform at all costs. They exerted all their skills, and spiritual power surged around them as they engaged in a life and death struggle with the phantom warriors. After a fierce battle, Sumu and Lin Feng finally broke through the encirclement of the phantom warriors and reached the side of the stone platform. Without hesitation, Sumu infused his spiritual power into the stone platform, trying to disrupt the force that controlled the phantom warriors. However, the stone platform was extremely sturdy, and Sumu's attack didn't cause any damage to it. At this time, the phantom warriors surrounded them again, encircling them tightly. Sumu and Lin Feng were in a desperate situation. Just when they felt hopeless, Sumu suddenly saw a strange light emitted from the ancient book on the stone platform. The light shone on the phantom warriors, and these phantom warriors actually stopped their attacks one after another, and their bodies began to become illusory. "It's the light from the ancient book," Lin Feng exclaimed in surprise. Taking this opportunity, Sumu picked up the ancient book. As soon as the ancient book was in his hand, a powerful spiritual power poured into his body, but he didn't have time to feel this power. He quickly used the light of the ancient book to shine on the surrounding phantom warriors. Under the illumination of the light, all the phantom warriors gradually dissipated, and the space returned to calm. Sumu and Lin Feng heaved a sigh of relief and slumped to the ground. However, before they could rest for a moment, the ground of the space suddenly began to shake, and cracks spread out. Then, from the cracks grew one after another, flowers emitting a powerful spiritual power, which instantly filled the entire space, forming a magnificent spiritual power flower scene. These flowers came in various forms. Some were as holy as lotus flowers, and some were as delicate as roses. Each flower contained a spiritual power that made one's heart palpitate. Sumu and Lin Feng stood up, looking at this suddenly appeared spiritual power flower sea in surprise. They could sense that there was great danger hidden in this flower sea, but at the same time, there might also be clues to leaving the space.